Hello, hello, hello. Thank you so much for joining me today on the Community Ledger. Again, my name is Andrea Banu, and today I want to talk about something that is incredibly popular on social media and has been driving me crazy. It is a departure from politics, but it is definitely affecting our community in a negative way, and it is the war between men and women, and I'm going to talk about it. Hello again, and thank you for joining me this Sunday morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world. If you have not already, please do press that subscribe button so that I can get some of your love and support. But yes, like I stated before the intro, I want to talk about this gender war between Black men and Black women. We were watching, me and my husband and I were watching YouTube yesterday, and you're just inundated with videos from both sides. Black women talking about how horrible Black men are, Black men talking about how they not dating Black women anymore. And it's constant, it's excessive, it's just over and over and over and over again. I mean, you have people who have built their entire platform, their entire identity off hating the other gender. And I'm trying to figure out, like, I'm sitting back and I'm watching and I'm like, what is the solution? What is the end game? Why are we as a community, men and women, getting on these platforms and dragging each other in the manner in which we do? And I'm not understanding. And I'm looking and I'm like, you know what? This is cap. I'm gonna tell you why. It's all bullshit. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because you got all these men on here and don't be dating baby mamas, and she can't have this and she can't have that, and her body count and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, it's bullshit. They talking about all this online about what they not gonna do, what they not gonna accept. And then I see videos, I see documentaries about women who are literally virgins and men don't want nothing to do with them. The whole conversation was sparked by an episode of Pop the Balloon. We're watching this video of an episode of Pop the Balloon. I couldn't find this morning, or else I would have put it on there. If I can find it, I'll go ahead and put it in the link. But a good looking brother, right? Charismatic, young, 6 foot, all the things that all these chicks say they want, 6 foot, making six figures, et cetera, working in IT, very articulate, well groomed, carried himself well. So I'm like, okay, this is the kind of brother that all these girls say they want. This is the kind of brother that is on all of these platforms talking about she got to be this, she got to be submissive, she got to be that, she can't have this, she can't, with all this long list of stuff that these women have to possess. So then he's got this long line of women, and it's only one woman, okay? It's one woman out of the whole line who is articulate, covered up, professional, and just oozed elegance and class, right? He ain't pick up. And I'm like, how? What am I missing? He literally skipped over her and got the ratchet right here that got on like knee boots, 2 kids by 2 different baby daddies, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm like, what am I missing? What the hell am I missing? This man was in IT. She was in IT. She was getting her master's in IT. She was so articulate and well poised. She didn't have no kind of craziness on her social media that, we could see. The other two, because I watched it on what is it, MTR. Mediocre tutorials and reviews, right? He's showing these girls on their social media pages. These women are all bent over on their social media pages. They all like completely just ratchet. Even their girlfriends, they pointing at their girlfriends' asses. They on the ground, they bent over, just crazy. And then when he starts to have conversations with him, with these ladies, they're nothing that you men say you want. Yet you skipped over the girl who was classy, articulate, covered up, and presented herself like a potential wife. And I'm like, what the hell am I missing? And so that's when I started to think, like, what am I witnessing? What is going on here? And like I said, I'm gonna play a video where you have this black woman who is a virgin, and she says anytime she's on a date and mentions the fact that she's a virgin, they don't want nothing to do with her. And so I say, you know what? This is not just a gender war. This is a strategic weapon of war. Okay. This is a divide and conquer strategy because ain't nothing coming out of this. Ain't nothing coming out of this. And y'all don't even see y'all being played. Right. So I'm going to play this video. I'm going to just play it for you.
I feel like I'm ready for new things to come my way. And I'm starting to date more, which is,
Really?
Yeah. My dating pool is much smaller because of me being a virgin, and then also because I want someone who is a little bit taller than me, but moving forward, I'm definitely open to changing that a little bit. Not so much on the virginity, but the size. I want true love. I definitely want to do everything that I can to be open to finding the one.
When you start dating, when do you introduce that you're a virgin? Like, how do you even address that? How does it come up?
That's one of the hardest parts. Because you don't want to tell it too early. If you say it out the jump, nobody even wants to get to know me.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Literally, I've been out on first dates when it does come up. Like, yeah, I'm a virgin. I'm waiting to have sex until I'm married. And the whole conversation changes. I never hear from them again. It's done.
So you hear that? You hear that? You got all these people, all these podcasters, all these people all over social media talking about how these women, they don't want somebody that's been with this many men, that many men. So it's like a number, like they don't want her to not be with nobody, but they don't want her to be with a whole bunch of people either. But like this woman is like serious. Like she's like, I don't want to be with anybody until I'm in a serious relationship, when I'm in a serious marriage. Like she seems articulate, attractive, well-groomed. She obviously hasn't been in a bunch of toxic relationships, sexual relationships with men, and she's honest about it. And she says as soon as it comes up, they don't even call her no more. They don't even call her. So truth be told, you men are online talking about all this stuff, but even when you get that, you don't even want it. You don't even want it. Like it was huge on social media when that podcaster No Fugazi, he built this whole platform about talking about, baby mamas are just for a good time. You don't need to be wifing up baby mamas. You don't need to be spending a bunch of time on baby mamas, only to find out again, dragging and building his whole platform on dragging Black women and baby mamas the whole time he's in a relationship with a baby mama, a woman who has multiple kids. I don't know how many baby daddies she has, but she had multiple kids before she met him because he's Black. His new boo is a white woman and she got 2 white kids. And he came to the relationship with a child. And they ain't married. So he's shacking. But he on a platform telling y'all what y'all don't need to be doing. So I'm like, this is a play. This is a strategy. This is some bullshit. And I'm gonna go ahead and continue. Because there's more.
Dude, why I do not date or take Black women serious. And it's not because I don't want to talk or date or not take them serious. It's because on average, okay, your typical Black woman will call me unattractive. Okay, so she calls me unattractive, but yet
he's stating that the typical Black woman calls him unattractive. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. I'm looking at him and I don't see him as unattractive. And so, I mean, I'm just not buying it. That means every woman you come across that's Black thinks you're unattractive. That's bullshit. That's cap.
But yet, all the other races of women, immediately they fall in love with me. They love my.
So everybody who looks like you thinks you're unattractive, and everybody who looks like something else, they fall in love with you. You lying, yo. You lying.
Personality, my character, the way I move, my intellect, how I do things. But the Black woman, all she sees is in her mind, cornball. It's even. There is no in between. There is no gray area with the Black woman. Okay, so if there's no gray area, I either have to be a thug or I have to be like a super white man, like a Black man that's white.
What are you talking about? Like, you are tripping right now. You literally talking about Black women. You either have one, Black women see you as lame and a cornball. It's Black women who like cornballs. It's Black women who are not, city girls who like dudes that are just chill and into IT or video games or whatever the hell you into. Like it's plenty of chicks that are black who would be digging you, guaranteed. Facts, 100%. Facts. So you're not going to convince me that every black woman you come across, they all think you corny and don't want to do with you, but you only have success with people that don't look like you. That is straight bullshit. That is straight bullshit. And then you talk that there's no in between. Either you're a cornball or they want you to be like a white man. Huh? What? What are you talking about? Like where do you live? Where do you live? Oh, there's more. There's more.
Proposals do you expect a group of women who have consistently proven themselves to be intolerable, insufferable, combative, masculine, unsubmissive, stubborn, know-it-alls who create drama and conflict? Do you expect?
Do you see how these men are speaking about black women? Intolerable, insufferable, annoying, yada yada yada, all negative, all negative, all negative.
Get to it.
Yeah. Get to it.
Hey, yo, I ain't gonna lie, man.
Get
Yo,
to it, my brother.
I hear this excuse a lot that black men tear down black women, right? What have you heard them say? Like, I want to know. Like, what have they said specifically?
Black women are aggressive. They don't cater to their men. They're argumentative.
They don't have no hair. They angry.
That's crazy.
Oh, that's new.
Yeah, I heard that.
I've never heard that.
That's a new one. Yeah, they be wilding
They're
out.
not submissive.
Yes.
They're argumentative. Like I've heard that a lot. Very
But
aggressive.
it'd be the same thing. Like if a black woman curse you out, you Aggie, but a Spanish girl or some other, spicy Latina. Like, bro, it's the same thing.
Oh, hell no. Me. Hell no.
So a lot of black guys.
Over and over and over and over and over again. And on the women's side, it's the same thing. Just talking about how black men ain't shit. And I'm like, yo, this is not reality. And I'm gonna tell you why. I know plenty of black couples who have been married for years and they don't have none of these issues. They don't have none of these complaints. They're not talking none of this shit. These are all single people who just aren't serious about marriage, who just aren't serious about relationships. That is what I'm getting from it. Like you just got a whole bunch of young people and single people who just aren't serious. That's ultimately it. On top of the fact that somehow perpetuating all of this is great for keeping us divided. It's great for continuing to divide and destroy the concept of the Black family. It's great for continuing to remove the man from the household of children. Like it's great for that strategy of war, that divide and conquer strategy. Because I'm like, you put in all this out and there is no resolution. There is no solution. There is no resolve. There is no end game to where this makes any sense. To just continue to perpetuate and perpetuate and perpetuate all of this negativity on each other. You are being played. You're being played. Okay. You got all these girls online talking about, oh, he got to be 6 feet. He got to be making 6 figures. He got to be 6 inches to a yard, rock hard or with his tag. And like, girl, what are you talking about? And for me as a woman, I'm like, do you not understand how dangerous that is? Like, do you not understand how dangerous that is? You're a single mother. You got children, and all you care about is whether or not he's 6 feet, whether or not he's making 6 figures, and whether or not he can bang your back out. Okay, well, what about when you at work or you at the hair salon or you wherever you at? How is he treating your kids? Okay, do you not realize the statistics behind children who are abused? Yeah, pedos, they focus in on single mothers. That's like prime real estate for them. So do you realize how easy it is for somebody who is an aggressor, someone who is an abuser, someone who is sick to present himself and all he got to be is 6 feet, making 6 figures and bang your back out? That's it. And you done let your complete guard down and left your babies exposed. You're not saying nothing about character. This man could not only be a pedo, he could beat your ass. You don't care. He could come in here and drag you and treat you like trash. But as long as he got 6 feet, he's 6 feet, got 6 figures, and can bang your back out, it's okay. So now you in here being abused and watching your kids and having your kids watch you be abused, causing more harm and damage outside of the fact that their real daddy may not even be around. What about all of the men who go both ways? Their sexuality is fluid. Okay, you don't care about that. You don't care about when he goes to the gym, who he might be doing. Oh, it's a real thing. It's a real thing. As long as he got 6 figures, it's 6 feet and banging your back out. You don't care. And that is crazy to me. Like, huh? What? I mean, maybe I just come from a different generation where I'm like, when you choosing a mate, you want this man to have some character. Like, you can't buy character. Like, I don't give a damn if this man is over 6 feet. Can he hold a job? I don't care how big his Johnson is. Is he going to be here and support me in our darkest days? And is he going to be a father to his children? I don't care if he doesn't make 6 figures. Money comes and goes. He can make 6 figures now, get cancer and lose it. Then what? He's no longer worth my time. And that's why I say, y'all not serious. Neither side is serious. And for the Black men talking about, Black women are insufferable. They're not submissive. They're not this. Man, cut it. Save it. Because as soon as you get in a real relationship, in a real marriage, she gonna hold you down. Do you realize how many women? I know a couple right now. I know several couples who got together and they didn't have shit. They didn't have nothing in between them. They didn't have nothing but each other and a goal and a dream and love. And she didn't get no ring. They still got married. He had a beat up ass vehicle and they grinded it out. And I'm telling you, they didn't have shit. They worth millions right now. I know them personally. And she says, I never could have imagined that we'd be living the life that we live, but they worked together. They loved each other and they made it happen. And the father is in the home. Okay. All of her children are by her husband and they are millionaires. So it's like, what are we doing? What are we doing out here to each other? It's bullshit. And we're the only ones doing it. And I'm like, can we be the only ones doing this? Yes. I also want to play this video by Diane Carroll because I always think about it. And I saw somebody on TV and was like, how come older women aren't telling younger girls to play? It's because they're competing with you. Because they still trying to find a man. They're bitter. You ever heard the term misery loves company? That's why they ain't telling you what's real out here. But I'm gonna tell you what's real out here because I give a damn, because I care, because I'm living it. Like, I'm married, I get it. Come on now. Like I told my husband, like, I don't speak this based on just an observation. I lived it. I've dated the guy that looked amazing on paper. Amazing on paper. In real life, not so much. And I'm not married to him now. And when I married my husband, it was refreshing that you actually had somebody that like could treat you well and wanted to commit and wanted to be down and wanted to be in his children's life. You know what I'm saying? Like, I couldn't even imagine what my life would be had I chose someone that just looked good on paper, who just was 6 foot, who just made 6 figures. I would be miserable. Miserable. Life and marriage is not about posting on Instagram. Life and marriage is not that ceremony. That's a ceremony. That ain't marriage. Real marriage, everybody knows. Anybody who's married know you're gonna go through some shit. Whether it's financial, whether it's emotional, whether it's health, you're gonna go through shit. Okay, ain't nothing gonna be perfect. Nothing. I heard an interview with Kendra G when Kevin Samuels asking her if she wanted to be married. She said, I want to be happily married. And I'm like, oh, she ain't ready. She ain't ready. Who doesn't want to be happily married? But that's not real life. You can be happy, and you're more than likely going to be happy when you first get married. 6 months, a year, 7 years in, oh, it's going to be a ride. And you got to be prepared for it. Okay, so the correct answer would be when he asked you, are you ready for marriage? Do you want to be married? Yes. Because when you say yes, that means you're ready for the ride. So that's why I'm looking at all these people and I'm like, one, they're not serious about a committed relationship. They're not serious about marriage, and they're being used to divide and conquer. That's it. That's it. Before I was married, when I was younger, I'll say, I used to survey couples at my jobs. You know, when people would come in, I would just always ask couples. I'd be like, what's the secret? What's the secret? Give me any advice. I just like to have that dialogue with so many couples. I mean, I met so many freaking couples of every race, age, everywhere, all over the world. And you know what the common theme was? They all been through it. They all have been through it. This illusion that marriage is just like, oh my God, oh, we're married. Hey, y'all. And, you know, Instagram posts and all this lovey-dovey walks on the beach. No, that's fairy tale shit. That's not marriage. And don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that marriage is just like this horrible thing. No, it's beautiful. It's incredible. You understand why God put it in place. It's a benefit to your community, to your children, for you and your growth, your evolution. Financially, it's incredible for you guys to, especially to get with somebody who's trying to build just like you. It's amazing. That's why we need more of it. However, these young people on YouTube and Instagram ain't getting it. And I'm trying to figure out how and why, especially when ain't no game. Like, we just gonna destroy each other's on social media to the end of time. And then what? And then what? Because we all know y'all still fucking. Excuse my language. We all know that y'all still gonna be out here having kids. So what is the end game? And I wanted to, going back to why older women aren't giving young girls game, I want to play this video of Diane Carroll. Well, Diane Carroll, listen, in her old age, was by herself and had to come to terms with a lot of her decision making. I'm gonna play that for you too.
Was I married 4 times? Yes, I was. I confess I was married I confess I was married 4 times. And the reason I'm smiling is because I spent a lot of time giving the men involved in.
I'm gonna press pause right there because it just dawned on me. It just came to me. Purpose. That is the underlying theme that is missing. That is the underlying theme. When I told you that I surveyed all of these couples and they talked to me about their marriages, I remember I spoke to this Asian woman one time. I'll never forget it. She was Asian. Her husband was white. And I was like, what is the secret? You know, how long have you guys been married, et cetera, et cetera? What advice do you have to give me? And she said, girl, I want to divorce my husband every day. And I was like, what? She said, I want to divorce my husband every day. And I said, well, why don't you? What's keeping you from it? And she said, because we have a daughter and we have businesses and it's bigger than me. Wow. Wow. Like, this is how other nationalities and all other facets of America view the union and the partnership of marriage. It's bigger than me. I also met a woman, she knew her husband 24 hours before she met him. I said, what? She said, yes, I knew my husband 24 hours. I said, how did that even happen? She was Muslim. She said, well, his family knew my family and my family knew I needed a husband. So they introduced me to him. He was a businessman. He seemed nice. The rest is history. Been married 20, 25 years. I'm like, how is that possible? She said, because when you go into marriage knowing that this is a lifelong commitment. And that's it. That's it. Yes, we've had ups and downs. Yes, we've had trials and tribulations. But when you go into marriage, you go into it knowing this is a lifelong commitment. The end. I've had couples talk about their financial woes, how, their sex lives, all kind of stuff. I've met people who got divorced and got back together, and the woman was living here and he was living there. They talked to me about infidelity. I didn't heard it all. But the through line, the common thread is purpose. They have children, they have businesses. There is a purpose for staying and working it out and doing the damn thing. And that is what these people on the internet aren't understanding. So when you got this whole list of 6 foot this, 6 figures that, he got to be paying my bills, he got to buy my wigs, he got to buy my eyelashes, ain't no purpose. What is the purpose, baby? You can do all that shit yourself. What are you here for? When the men say, oh, she's insufferable, I need peace, blah, 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 blah. Well, you're going to have to work it out, brother. Y'all going to have to go to some counseling, and y'all going to have a conversation about some things. Ain't nobody out here perfect. You think the people that's been out here married for 20, 30 years ain't went through shit? Are you crazy? You think that woman ain't ever popped off at the mouth? I'm sure she has. And her husband say, bring it down a notch. Just like that scene in that movie from Malcolm X. Remember when they got into that first argument and she was yelling, she was mad. And he said, woman, don't you raise your voice in my house. And she brought it back down. I remember Angela Bassett saying, marriage is a whole lot of biting your tongue. Okay? That's called compromise. It takes a mature mind, a level mind, and a level of understanding and purpose to be in a committed relationship, to be in a marriage. What is your purpose? Every time my husband gets on my nerves, there's been times where I'm like, I'm packing my shit. And then I think about, what would that do to my daughter? Can't do it. And it's always something silly. It's always something that you can get over and be done with the next day. Because it's bigger than me. It's deeper than me. I grew up without a father. To this day, I don't know who this man is. Never met him a day in my life. And I knew when I got married and had children, specifically when I had children, I was going to be with somebody who was serious about being in their child's life. And he here. In them kids' lives every single day. And like I said, no matter what we go through, it's like, listen, we got kids. We both come from broken homes. So our purpose is the well-being of those kids. Our purpose is building our business. Our purpose is building and growing, making both of our dreams come true, leaning on each other through all the ups and downs. And that's what needs to happen with us as a community. You have to just be real about what commitment is and what relationships are and the work that goes into it. You can't be afraid to just say, you know what, I don't like the way you said this, or I don't like the way you talking to me. And if you care about this person and you want this person in your life, you're going to do whatever's necessary to appease them and make it better on both sides, male and female. You know, chicks, I don't like the fact that you leave and you don't tell me where you're going, or I text you and you don't respond for 2 or 3 hours. Well, he's going to have to do better. That is the essence of marriage. It's just work. It's work. It ain't no different than going to medical school and working your ass off to pass whatever exam you got to pass and to get certified, board certified. It ain't no different than going to law school and working your ass off to pass the bar exam. Whatever you want in life that is substantial, you gonna work for it. You gonna have to earn it. People ain't been in marriages for 25, 30 years, you know, tiptoeing through the tulips. Come on now. Find your purpose. And if your purpose is that you want to mate so that you can raise your children with, so you don't have to be lonely with when you 40, 50 years old and you miserable and bitter, then you're going to have to look in the mirror and change some things, girl. You're going to have to do the work internally by yourself. I always say, and I used to say all the time before I was married, if you can't be with you by yourself, if you can't be single for 6 months to a year by yourself, if you can't be with you, why would you expect anybody else to want to be with you? So you need to be okay with being by yourself and do the work. You can't just be single and go shopping. You need to do the work. You need to do a survey of all of these people that you chose in the past and what went wrong. What did you like about these relationships? What didn't you like about these relationships? Go to counseling. I'm totally an advocate of counseling. I am not ashamed. I'm like, I would rather be healthy mentally and physically than out here tripping. Real talk. But again, let me go ahead and get back into this Diahann Carroll.
Involved in some of these relationships of very bad reputation. I'm not saying that I ever said anything that wasn't true. It was all true. Except that the reason that this one human being kept choosing selection poor, not able to evaluate whether this should be a friendship or this should be a marriage. I wanted to be married. And so when the opportunity was there to do so, I did it. I had not lived alone. Quite frankly, I didn't know how to do that. I'm not sure that I know how to do it today. But I did think that it was time for me to stop and try to answer these questions for myself. I decided to come back to Los Angeles and learn to live alone. I said I will learn about me, not the role I play. And it's difficult to learn to live alone. It's difficult because I'm difficult. I'm not easy to live with. You know, you have 3 or 4 choices here that will give you a terrible day or a wonderful day. And there's no one else to blame except you. Because you're here alone. You can't say he did this or he did that. It's all you. And you don't seem to want to make yourself extremely happy the way you wanted other people to come along and make you extremely happy. Nobody can make you extremely happy but you.
I thought that was incredibly powerful because she said, you know, it's been hard to live by herself. She said, because I'm not difficult to live with. So here she is by herself without anybody in her life. And she's realizing, you know, I'm not the easiest person to get along with. And didn't realize that till after all 4 of her marriages failed and she's alone. So I'm trying to save you the heartache. I'm trying to get you to understand that you are perpetuating the destruction of your own community, the destruction of the nuclear family, the continued perpetuation of children in fatherless homes. It has to stop. You have to be able to converse with each other and have those hard conversations. It can't just be continued browbeating. You know, for me, that's exactly what Kevin Samuels was trying to do. And it took me a long time to understand that. And I will be 100% with you. Kevin Samuels was a point of contention in my household. My husband used to watch Kevin Samuels all the time, and I could not stand it. Anytime he mentioned his name, he brought the Celie out of me. I was ready to fight. Like, you told Harpo to beat me? Like, I was on edge, like, oh, Kevin Samuels. And then and he was standing on like, I'm gonna watch whatever the hell I want to watch. And this man is talking about some shit. And I was like, and one day he was at work and the kids were asleep. And I turned it on and said, let me just see what this Kevin Samuels is about, because I don't want to have to divorce this man behind no damn Kevin Samuels. And I watched and I watched and I watched. And I ended up watching this man for hours. And I was like, these chicks are crazy. These women are delusional. This is madness. And I didn't get it until I watched it and saw it with my own eyes. And Kevin Samuels knew that. He had been married. He's seen all these women out here single. He knows what the end result is if you don't get serious in your prime. If you don't get serious in your 30s and your 40s. The window for you to even have kids it's so slim. What are you doing? And I'm not saying you need to settle. I'm not saying you just grab any Joe Schmo, but you're gonna have to be real. We already know that Black men are not making money like that, all these millionaires like that. And even the ones that do ain't gonna treat you right. Let's just keep it 100. These football players, these ball players, please, you gotta be a special kind of woman to juggle that bullshit on a regular basis. And then you competing with hundreds, maybe even thousands of other broads. Come on now. It's so many good men out here. It's so many good men working jobs, got benefits and houses and cars and disposable income. And it's just sitting in their bank account and they just chilling there waiting for the right one to come and not be on some bullshit. Y'all just need to get it together. Y'all got to stop perpetuating the sadness, the madness, and stop being a component to destroying your own family, your own community. And so I was like, okay, so we know that Black people drag each other like this day and night, night and day. Let me go ahead and type and find white men who speak ill against white women. I couldn't find nothing. Okay, well, let me type and see how many white women dog and refuse to date white men. Couldn't find nothing. Asians not doing it. Hispanics not doing it. Only us. And you know what I did find when I dug up white women who don't date white men? This is what I found. This is the only thing that came up that was even remotely relevant.
I've seen a few of these videos now, and I told myself to.
I'm gonna go ahead and play it over. It's a post of a Black man saying he can't date Black women no more, and a white woman responding.
I've seen a few of these videos now, and I told myself to keep out. Said I wouldn't say anything, but turns out I can't help myself. That was fucking terrible. Now, this is not about me criticizing people who have preferences, because we all do, even if we're not aware of it. But what we can't do is to drag those who are not our preference in order to justify liking those who are. If you like white women, go ahead, like white women. But you don't need to bring Black women into your mouth in order to justify it.
You hear that? And this is coming from a white woman. This is coming from a white woman. She is disgusted by this behavior. So you out here dragging Black women, talking about how you can never, y'all all saw last week this Black man down in Georgia who got unalived by his white girlfriend, right? And they pull up all these old posts about how ugly and nasty he spoke about Black women. And the white woman, the one that killed him. So not only are you perpetuating the destruction of your own community, other nationalities and communities are looking at you foul. So again, my question is, what is the end game? What is the solution? Because if we don't start pulling each other together, if we don't start calling each other to the carpet on nonsense, on bullshit, we ain't going nowhere. We ain't never gonna be nowhere. And we are the ones doing the damage. It has to stop. It has to stop. I think these women, you're gonna have to get real about what's really out here, real about what you want for yourself and for your life. And it's got to be more than just somebody to pay for your wig and your eyelashes. And these men are going to have to be real about what they're willing to accept and tolerate. Granted, of course, you don't need to be in a relationship where somebody is disrespecting you. But at the same time, there are good women out there that are flawed and just need somebody to have her back, have her side, and let her know he gonna ride with her. Because a lot of times women act out of fear. Out of fear. But if you let it be known, baby, I got you. I'm here. You ain't got to do none of that no more. Y'all gonna get it in order. In the same way our parents and our grandparents did. But like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and get off my soapbox. You know, it was something that I was heavy on my heart that I felt like needed to be addressed and spoken. This here is the Community Ledger. I always want to address things that impact our community, and this gender war is got us down bad. And I really just I feel like we need to go ahead and turn the page on this. We need to turn the car around, okay, and start getting some things in order. This moment in time where we are inundated with negativity, with Black women against Black men, vice versa. We need to go ahead and start cleaning that up. We need to start cleaning that up. And we need to start reinvesting in lifting each other up. Seeking counseling, seeking healing, creating environments and homes for our children to thrive in. We got to do better. And only we can do it. We did all that work to make sure that them Democrats got out of office. We did all that work to make sure Kamala Harris did not win. Yes, a lot of us did that. So we got work to do, and we can do it. And now is the time. If you want this to be a brand new setup in terms of America, in terms of the Black community, in terms of finances, in terms of health, we got to do the work. And so what say you? What's your opinion? What do you think is really happening here? Do you really think that we hate each other this much? Or are we being used? Are we being played? And again, what's the end game? So if you have not already, please do like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, this is the Community Ledger. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe and watch the next video by clicking right here.